Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast. Today is a very different episode. I unfortunately came down with the COVID-19 virus. So it's been a very sucky week. Had 102.9 fever, was really going through it. Thought I was going to die at one point, not even kidding. But I'm getting better. Unfortunately, we do have an episode that does need to come out this week, and we were a little behind on recordings. So we're doing a virtual recording over Zoom right now. So that's probably why there's going to be a little bit of a difference in the sound of audio because we're going to be using two different microphones here. But I'll do my best in post to make it all sound very smooth and coherent. Um, but without further ado, today's episode is going to be asshole, asshole cubed. We're gonna be reading some Am I the Asshole stories again. These seem to be one of our more popular types of episodes. So we picked out another three stories that we're gonna go ahead and read off from Reddit. I'll of course link them all down in the show notes like usual. But I think it should be a really interesting episode. These stories, I don't know if I think two of them they're for sure like, oh yeah, that person is not an asshole, right? But then the other one's kind of like, I don't know. So Mauricio will go ahead and kick us off with the first story. I'm only gonna read one because I'm sure y'all can tell my voice is still kind of going through it. It's taking everything in me not to cough right now. But yeah. So
No,
if you
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. It's not glitching. It's just like I feel like I'm a little behind when you talk in like the video.
Oh really?
Yeah. But no. You're good. You're good.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little bit different of a format. We've never recorded an episode like this before. So, or we have, but not for our podcast. We've done virtual episodes for like being guests on other people's podcasts, but this is a first for us. Um, so yeah.
Yeah. We've never had to set it up.
Yeah, this was very different. I'm using the equipment that we normally use because we usually record at my house, and Maurice was using the very first microphone that we both used to use
Mm-hmm.
for like the original first bunch of episodes, which most of them got deleted. I think the only ones that that are still up with the Blue Yeti microphone are like episodes 11 through 13, I think. And then after that, we switched to using these microphones. But it wasn't even this setup though. It was these microphones, but we had a different system, like a different way of plugging them into my laptop. So all different things, but still a very solid mic. I think it really brings out the bassiness of a voice. So like you sound really crisp. Like Zoom calls usually are just straight through the computer's microphone. So like to me, you sound like HD. It's crazy.
Okay, cool. I was wondering because I can't hear myself. I can only hear you. So I was like, I don't know how I sound. Hopefully it's good though.
Yeah, I can't hear myself either. Like obviously like I hear myself talking, but not through the Zoom call. And that's like the beauty of the setup that we have when we're both here is that we can hear ourselves talking in the headphones as we're recording. But that's just I don't want to say that it's not possible, but the way that we have it set up right now isn't it won't allow for that. So we're definitely jumping over some hurdles this episode. Both me still recovering from COVID. I'll try to mitigate the cough as much as I can. And then also being on Zoom recording this. But it's pretty tough. I hopefully only have a few more days of recovery. It man, it's such I I went so long without getting it. This is the first time I've ever, and hopefully last time I will have ever had it. And it's oh my gosh, it was no shit like rough. And it's so ironic too, because I was talking with sorry to like really, I know I was like, all right, let's go ahead and get into the episode. And I'm gonna let so it was ironic as hell because I was talking to my coworkers about like COVID, and like one of them was like, "Hey, like, so why do you wear the mask?" And I was like, "Oh, I live with my grandma. It's a good precaution. Like, I don't want to risk it." I was like, "I'm not worried that I wouldn't be able to recover. I'm worried that she wouldn't be able to." And
Mhm.
so that's like the main reason like why I still wear it, like because she lives with us, and I'm thinking about others, not really just myself, right? And um what is it? And as we're talking about that, like that morning, I felt real congested, and I was like, it's just like allergies. And then I started to have like cough attacks. And at first, I thought like, oh shit, I choked on my spit, which that happens pretty often. Like I'll choke on my spit, and then I'm like coughing like a madman. But this particular time, it lasted like way longer than normal, and I was like, nah, something's up. And then, what is it? That's when you text me that, oh, another person close to us got COVID, and I was like, ah, rip. And I was like, I probably have COVID. And so I get home and like I take the test, and I was telling my dad this too. And it's like almost I was in denial. I was like, there's no fucking way I have it. There's no way I have it. And so I was only coughing a lot. But as soon as that test, like it didn't even need the 15 minutes to set in. Like it got to that point, it was just a dark ass red line. I was like, fuck, I'm positive. And like all of the symptoms just set in. I got like cold sweats, like I was freezing. I had to turn off all the fans, which is unlike me because usually I'm very hot. And I get freezing and I'm sweating like crazy. Like my fingertips and my palms are sweating. My legs are sweating, my back and arm, like my whole body is sweating, but I'm freezing. And so I had a training call, and we got done with the call, and I had to hop into bed, and it was like I felt like I was dying. And then when I woke up after falling asleep, that's when I had that 102.9-degree fever, and it was like, so I could barely get out of bed. It took every ounce of strength in me to get out of bed, and to just like waddle my way to the restroom. Like I almost passed out just going to the restroom because I was trying to take a shower. I was like, maybe that'll make me feel better. It didn't. It was one of the most unsatisfying showers ever. If anything, I came out feeling like worse. I felt more like shit. And I was like, fuck. And eventually my parents got home, and then I took some Tylenol, and the fever went down from almost 103 to like a 99. And then the next day my fever did shoot back up to 100 in the morning, but it's like I took another Tylenol when I woke up, and then it shot back down, and I didn't have one anymore, and it was like a 98. And I haven't had a fever since like that second day. Or I guess, yeah, since that second day that I had COVID. So um I'm pretty sure I'm still COVID positive, because this morning I was having crazy cough attacks, and I still have, it's minor nasal congestion now. And I do cough, and I have like my throat is sore, but um I'm pretty confident that within the next couple of days I should be good. Like I should be negative, and it'll just be going back to wearing my mask like normal, and it'll be like another 5 days before I'm like fully recovered, right? But
Mhm.
yeah, it's
No,
been a
yeah.
good.
No, you're definitely going through it.
Yeah, it
I could
was
just hear it like when we called. I was like, "Oh, he's down." Like,
it was such a shitty experience. Like I'd only heard firsthand from people, like because some people were like completely asymptomatic. They didn't have any symptoms. It was like maybe some sniffles, but
mhm.
it wasn't anything too serious. I never lost my sense of taste or smell. I do definitely feel like there was a maybe a downgrade. I think this I never lost. Like I could taste and I could smell, but I think there was definitely like it lessened a little bit. The smell could have been because I was congested almost this entire week and could not breathe out of my nose. But um the sense of taste, I feel like that kind of got desensitized. Like I could taste still, but things tasted different. It could have been entirely in my head, but I think what should have been a telltale sign also was like that Monday, or no, that Sunday, the day before, we had dinner, and my dad like roasted a serrano like usual. And sometimes they're hit or miss, like whether they're like spicy or not. which I know like to some
Mhm.
people those might not be spicy and to some they are, right? But it's like for us, for my dad and I, it's like sometimes they got a good kick to them and sometimes it's like this shit's like candy. But my dad was like, man, it's not hot. And I'm like, this shit don't taste, it's not spicy at all. And I'm like, maybe that was like, maybe it was. And that was already like my taste buds low key. Like that's why I was getting in my head, but also it could have been too because I was really sick and food just didn't taste like it would. I honestly didn't have a crazy appetite either. Like I haven't weighed myself, but like I'm pretty sure I've lost weight. Like I'm not even shitting you. I'm pretty sure I lost a lot of weight because I have not eaten nearly as much as I usually do. And like I'm almost positive I'm like in the 140s, like for sure.
Oh my gosh. That's a
Because
lot.
well, like I'm usually like 158 and like if I don't eat for like a day, then I go down to like 152, right?
No, yeah, that's just such like a drastic change. If you are, like that
Oh
would be
yeah.
insane.
No, for sure. Like I have not eaten nearly as much as I usually do. And so it's like because I can't go down like usually for dinner, like I'll have two servings and that just not like it hasn't been an option, but like today was the first time that I actually finished my plate. Yesterday and the day before that, like I couldn't finish my plate like on either meal. Like lunch, like Chick-fil-A, usually I'll smash a freaking spicy deluxe meal and an extra like 8 count of nuggets. This time I barely finished the sandwich and I was so full and I put a dent in those fries, like a small dent. And so it was like I couldn't even finish it. And then dinner too, like I barely finished the plate. Or I didn't even finish it. Like I barely put a dent in the plate. And it was just like it was rough. So been going through a lot. Um, but I'm feeling better. I think I sound better, both in my attitude and like like being able to talk without having a cough attack.
Hmm.
But a lot of crazy shit. There's a lot of stuff that's been happening. Just felt like getting that off my chest because I've just kind of been in my room alone this whole week. Um, but yeah, it feels good to be here recording. We got some big stuff coming up for the podcast. Not gonna spoil it, but
Hmm.
excited.
No,
Um,
I'm glad you're feeling better. You honestly sounded really bad. Now you kind of sound like yourself, but I can definitely tell you're still a little sick.
oh yeah, no, for sure. And like it sucks too because I've been taking Mucinex, but like the Mucinex pills are huge. And so this morning I woke up at 6, not like wanting to. Like I woke up because I was coughing like a lot, and I was like, "Fuck, I need to take a Mucinex" because my nose was clogged, and then I was coughing a lot. Those pills are huge, babe. I shit you not. I sat there for 2 hours, just like trying to muster up the strength because I was just like
Oh
I was so
no.
dehydrated and I kept coughing, and I was like, I can't like open my throat up long enough to get this pill down because this thing is fucking huge and dry. Like it doesn't go down easy. And so like I was just sitting there on Instagram Reels, and then finally I'm like, fuck it. And then I just threw some water, and like I dead ass choked on it. I was like, and then I got it down,
Oh
and it
my
went
god.
down rough. And then I was like, finally, and I just went back to bed. Yeah, it was rough. I haven't gotten a lot of sleep this week either. It's been very, very, very rough week. It's been
I know
weird.
you've been like waking up late, because I'll get out of class and like an hour or two later, you're like, I'm glad you got home. Or like something like that. And I'm like, damn, you're still asleep. I don't know. Sometimes I think you're like watching a movie.
Hmm, I get that.
So I wasn't sure if you were awake or not, but you're like,
No,
I just woke up, I'm gonna eat. I'm like, okay.
yeah, it's been rough. Um, but yeah, but I digress. We can go ahead and get into the Am I the Asshole stories because they're honestly very interesting.
They
So
are. One of them's really hard to like, or not really hard, because I guess we kind of already like talked about it, but it's still kind of hard to decide
yeah,
whether or not they're really like the asshole or not.
yeah. I mean, if you want to kick us off and read the first story.
All right. Yeah. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay, okay. Am I the asshole for not wanting to go work out with my male friend anymore because I saw there's a lot of cute guys at the gym and now I'm worried they might think I have a boyfriend? I went with him originally because he's very knowledgeable about it, and I said maybe he could show me some of the exercises like how to do squats and such. Since then, we got in the habit of going together and becoming workout partners. However, as this is a part of my glow up period where I lose weight and get more toned and then hotter, guys start to notice me. I've been thinking there's some cute guys at this gym, but if they see me with my friend, they'll assume he's my boyfriend. Because of this, I told him it'd be better if we didn't go together anymore. When he asked me why, I explained it to him, but he said that was silly of me and claimed even I should be happy if being with him prevented other guys from hitting on me. Am I the asshole for rather wanting to go on my own from now?
Yeah, this one's pretty interesting, honestly. Not gonna lie.
Like, like I get both points, but I feel like I don't know. Like we don't know the whole story. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
did they decide they were gonna go together? You know? Because they said like they just go together now. But like, was it a said thing? You know, like they decided that was it. Like they're just gonna go together from now on, or was it kind of just like not said, but they established that they would go together every day?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? Like, was it a verbal thing or no? Oh, she said since then we got in the habit of going together and becoming workout partners. But I don't know if it was like established verbally. But I still feel like, he taught her and they've probably been going together for, I don't know, a month or two. I don't really know. But that's still like she's just flaking out on him.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel because we don't know what this other guy is thinking and like
Yeah.
what is his thought process. Like, does he have a crush on this girl, or is it like a platonic relationship between these two? There's absolutely no romantic feelings there. If that's the case, then I think he would understand. But if it is kind of like she just wanted someone to go with, but maybe she has an idea that that's going on, like then is she just leading this guy on and then she's just going to drop him, like, you know what I mean? Because it also kind of gives the
Mm-hmm.
impression it's like, oh, I'm only going with this guy, right? Like she says because he's knowledgeable, but it's also like she hasn't glowed up yet. So is she implying that this guy is ugly, or like implying that I'm only with you right now because I'm not hot yet, but once I get hot,
No.
I'm gonna fucking dump your ass, throw you to the curb because I got all these steamy ass gym hunks waiting.
No.
So like that's
That would be so sad.
kind of like what I'm thinking. And so is it right or wrong? I can't say for sure, but is she being an asshole in this situation? I don't think we have enough information to completely determine that.
Yeah, I don't know. It also might be because like maybe he figured out that he likes going with a partner now
Mm-hmm.
and he likes working out with her,
Yeah.
you know? So he wants to continue that. So he just like improves in the gym, because I don't like working out alone, really. Like if I'm in the mood for it, yes. But if I'm not in the mood for it, like I plan on going with you.
Yeah. Um, I don't know. Well, because okay, so look at the last paragraph, right? She says,
Mm-hmm.
I should be happy. Or no, he says, so because of this, I told him it'd be better if we didn't go together anymore, right? He said, when he asked me
Yeah.
why, I explained it to him, but he said that it was silly of me and claimed even I should be happy if being with him prevented other guys from hitting on me. So that kind of makes it sound like this guy is implying, like, wasn't it a good thing? Guys aren't hitting on you while I'm with you. It's kind of like,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
want other guys to hit on you because I want to be with you. And that's what I'm getting from this. And so I feel like she understands that, but she's not saying that in this post and she's leading him on. But
Well, she might also not know.
that could be it. That's my male perspective. But again, like I don't know everything that this guy knows, right? We're only getting her perspective on this. And then we don't know everything that she's thinking.
Yeah. We also don't know their relationship.
Yeah.
Like, do they have like have they had this conversation before and maybe she feels like that's why she wants to go alone too, but she doesn't want to tell him like, oh, like you're getting too comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like it's not there's nothing wrong with wanting to go alone. Like if you've been working out with somebody, like if you enjoy working out alone, like I know a lot of people who enjoy working out alone who are in relationships and that's just something that they enjoy doing. It's like an alone time thing. Um and I'm not saying that you need like a valid reason to want to work out alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Her reason is just being that she is, and I quote, in her glow up period, right? So that when she gets hot, like she wants to be alone so that way she gives off that single impression to other guys in the gym.
Yeah. He might have also just not liked the response.
Yeah, that could have been it too.
Like maybe he would have understood if she was like, I just want to work out alone. I'm more comfortable with that.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe because it was what she said, like he's kind of against it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of things that we got to think about.
Yeah, so overall, so I'm gonna say with the information that we have, she is not the asshole. But given the assumptions that I was laying out on the table, any one of the assumptions that I laid out on the table were true, then she is the asshole. But given what given the information we have now, she is not the asshole. And that's not to say
Yes.
like even if she was the asshole that she's wrong. Again, she's not wrong for wanting to work out alone for that reason, but it would be an asshole move if like she knows that he's into her romantically or he's implying that he's ugly and like, I'm finna get hot, dump your ass, like
Yeah, or kind of just using him
exactly.
until she got hot.
Yeah, that is kind of fucked up. Like if that wasn't discussed before and like she is just using him, and that's, I'm all for women empowerment, but that's not the way to go. um, no, yeah. That one's yeah, stinky, honestly.
A little tough.
I'm gonna say she's not the asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, me too.
But we can go ahead and get into the next story. It's gonna be one of or the one story that I'm gonna read. So
Okay,
hopefully I don't cough during this. Just drink some water. Should hopefully help.
you
All
got
right,
it.
you ready?
Yeah, yeah.
This one's pretty juicy. So, am I the asshole for hiding my wealth? So, I, 29 male, recently got into an argument with my girlfriend, 28 female, about money. So, about 2 years ago, I received a large inheritance from a wealthy aunt. Honestly, we weren't very close, and I wasn't really expecting to get anything. But she left behind a couple million worth in assets, and most of that went to her kids. I was surprised to find out that my aunt had left me $50,000, and each of my siblings and cousins got the same amount. So when I got the money, I used most of it to pay off the rest of my student loans. Next, I bought a new computer, and then I put the rest towards retirement. Recently, my girlfriend was hanging out with one of my female cousins when she heard about the money we all got. This triggered an argument the next time we saw each other about why I was keeping this a secret from her and why I never offered to use it to help her with her own debt. Now, only reading that definitely does sound like an asshole move. But getting into this next part of the story, I think that might change your mind. So I told her that it wasn't really a secret. It was just something that I never really felt a need to talk about. I got the money and I used most of it immediately. There was nothing really left to talk about. She was upset that she was upset at that and saying that I should have talked about it with her first and that the money could have really helped her back then. Right. Still kind of sounding like he's the asshole, but wait, we're about to get juicy. So I was kind of baffled because when I got the inheritance, we'd only been seeing each other for a couple months, way too early for that kind of financial entanglement. I completely agree. 2 months, you don't even know if you're going to be with this girl in the next month. So she got even more upset and said that I should use some of it for her now. But I once again told her that the money was basically gone and all that's left is in the retirement account and I'm not touching that. So we argued back and forth some more, and I got the sense she didn't quite believe me about the money and thought that I had more left than I said I did. Nothing I could say would convince her otherwise. So all I could do was empathize that everything left from the or emphasize that everything left from the inheritance was in a retirement account and that I would not touch it. So she called me selfish and left to stay with her sister. So we've been in a sort of cold war for about a week, and I can't help but wonder, am I the asshole?
Definitely not.
Yes, I agree. I know, like, in the middle of reading that, I kind of had some biased commentary there, but because I've already read this, and like, he's not the asshole for that.
Mm-mm.
Like 100%. Like I read this and I was kind of like, man, reading it, I was like, that's fucked up. What? Like I would definitely slide you some bread. What the hell? Like if anything, like I know in the context of our relationship, like you're probably gonna have more debt than me to begin with. Like I would have paid off all your shit, right? But that's because we are at a stage in our relationship where that makes sense.
Yeah.
They were together for 2 months. Like that is such a young relationship, and to give someone such a large sum of money like that, like it's one thing to spend a lot on an expensive gift, but it's another thing to just straight up like pay off somebody's debt, you know?
And then it's another thing when they're mad that you didn't.
Yeah.
Like that's not their money to begin with.
Yeah, low-key, that's a red flag. Like, yeah, oh, like how long have y'all been together now? Right?
I
He
know.
didn't specify that. That's yeah.
And I
It's
know we kind of like talked about it the other day,
mm-hmm.
but it's like she's not thinking of the big picture, Like he put it in a retirement fund.
I know, man. One of the comments is like, not the asshole. It's good to see her true colors now. You decide what to do with that info, bro. Not, and like,
No, it's true.
yeah, not to slander his girlfriend, but that is like, you can't expect that of somebody. And like, especially because it already came and went, like, he didn't give a specified amount of time, like how much time had passed. I'm assuming not too
Mm-hmm.
long, right? Because he said that she was talking to a female cousin, right? And so the topic of that inheritance got brought up. So I'm going to assume it was within the year of having that money, right? So let's assume that it's the maximum. They've been together for a year and that's when it eventually gets brought up, right? She finally meets extended family, she talks to the cousin. Oh, what? Y'all got an inheritance? Oh, my boyfriend got one too. And then it's kind of like you figure out that 8 months back he got this money, and it's kind of, or not 8 months back, it would be 10 months back. You find out that 10 months back he got this money and y'all were 2 months fresh, right?
That's what that's what kind of makes me upset because they were only 2 months in.
Yeah.
Why are you getting so mad? Like, I don't know. Like that's not her money to begin with.
Yeah.
They're not married. The inheritance was specifically for him to use. She's not obligated to get anything.
Yeah.
Like I do agree that like let's say he paid off all her or like his student loans, right? And then he had a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of money left over and he was like, "Oh, like can I pay some of yours?"
Mm-hmm.
Because he already paid off his. But even if like like he just paid off his and that's just something that they're going to be better off with, especially if they get married, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just one student loan or like one person's.
Like they have one less
Yeah, they just have
student
one
loan
less
to
to
worry
deal
about.
with. So it's
Yeah.
still a benefit to her in the long run.
Yeah. Yeah. She's not thinking long term, bro. She's thinking short term.
But I just don't like how she's so, or like the way that he makes her seem like she's demanding it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of like she has her name written on it.
Yeah, like it was like he was obligated to give her some of that money, like assuming like they're still girlfriend and boyfriend, especially too because like at that time like they were girlfriend and boyfriend and young, like there wasn't any sort of, I don't want to say that being girlfriend and boyfriend, like those titles don't have weight, right? Because they do. They have basic implications of being loyal to one another and loving each other,
Mm-hmm.
right? But it's not the same as being married to one another, especially through law. and then financial entanglements become a thing that you deal with, right? Like joint accounts and putting money towards y'all's future, a joint future, right? This was, there wasn't any serious grounds in play for him to feel obligated to do that yet. So definitely he was not the asshole.
Mm-mm. He definitely was not. I agree.
Mhm. um yeah, I don't know, there's not much more to say about this one. I think this one was
Mm-mm.
pretty easy compared to the first one. Yeah, the first one was hard because there was so much missing information, and that's not to say that there's not missing information here, but I feel like this guy really laid it out, like, you know
Well, it was more in depth than the last one for sure.
no, yeah, for sure. And it could have been too, like, the way I was reading it, and like I had that biased mindset, right? But I mean,
You got passionate for sure.
all of these comments are all not the asshole, not the asshole. Everybody's bringing up like, and it was like they were only together for 2 months.
Yeah.
Nah, yeah. I don't see anybody saying that she wasn't an asshole, or that he wasn't, or that he was an asshole. It's like
Yeah.
she's the asshole, and like this dude is not an asshole. But oh yeah. If you want to go ahead and get into the next story though, this one's also
Yes.
a little bit of a long one, pretty juicy one.
It's a little longer for sure. Definitely already have opinions on the title.
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah. I remember this one.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Go for it.
Okay. So, am I the asshole for moving out of home the day I received my pay? I, 20 male, have been living with my mother, 50 female, and three siblings, male 13, female 9, and female 15, for the last 2 years and working full time. My mother demanded that I deposit all the money into her account on the day I received my pay. When I realized this seems extreme, my mother would often tell me that I am the man of the household and am responsible for supporting her and my siblings. When I asked to keep some of the money for myself as savings, she would start screaming and or cry and shaming me. One time when I suggested I wanted to move out, she flipped and started packing all my stuff and told me to leave right then and there. When I explained that I couldn't because I have no money to my name because I paid it all to her, she continued to tell me to go now if I wanted to leave. Obviously, I relented. I discussed my I discussed my issue with a coworker and he suggested I move out the day I got paid. So I kept the peace at home while looking for a place I could rent with roommates. And while looking for a place I could rent with roommates and on my payday went to work with my clothes and essentials and then went to my new place. I sent a message to my mother telling her I wouldn't be coming home. Now she has blown up my phone with a bunch of texts stating that I am abandoning her and my siblings and that I won't live up to my responsibilities. I think this is absurd. But then she says I could have at least given her a heads up that I was leaving a few weeks in advance, as she relied on my own money to pay for the rent, bills, food. She is now asking for my part of the rent for my pay for the past 2 weeks, saying it's only fair because I didn't give her any advance notice. But I didn't give her any advance notice because I feared a big blow up. I still feel guilty though. Have I thrown her and my siblings under the bus? No. No, you have not. Because that is your mother's responsibility. She decided to have those kids.
Yeah, see, I agree with you, but I understand where he's coming from with like that feeling of throwing them under the bus. Cause like I know I'd feel like
Mm-hmm.
shit, more so like for my siblings probably, right? But he's definitely, he's not an asshole. I don't
No.
It wasn't his responsibility to step up and be that. His mom just kind of appointed him to that, right? And so he just kind of had to step into that responsibility and start giving up his paychecks to the family. And like, I'm all for supporting family and all that. And I understand that there's many people who do that, who rely on their own children's income to help support, buying groceries or pay bills, right? But in this particular person's case, it was definitely like it was more so abuse than anything, right? It was financial abuse, and then it got to the point where like if he wanted to leave and be on his own, like any you know sprouting adult would want, like he was a 20-year old, right? He wanted to move out, do his own thing, and then to have that fear of getting backlash from your mom, like that's not on him, right? Because he's just the older sibling. He's not the parent.
Yeah, I agree with you. I would also feel bad if I was in that situation,
Mhm.
specifically, I think for my siblings and probably for my parents too. But if they were treating me like that, I'd probably be a little less like, you know what, I care more about what happens to my siblings. So I understand where he's coming from, but she was taking all of his money and what was she doing with it? Like probably paying bills, right? But was she not saving any of it either? And that's on her, you know? And does she have a job?
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Like, does she have a job? Because, well, here's the thing too. Like, she said that she has, or he said that he has three siblings: a 13-year-old brother, and then a 9-year-old sister, and a 15-year-old sister. So they're still in school and can't sustain themselves. Like, I mean, the 13-year-old and the 15-year-old maybe, right? Like, they could make food. So I feel like they would be okay being left alone during the day while hypothetically the mom and him are working, right? Or just completely subtracting him from the equation. Like, the mom could probably work a job and, like, it wouldn't be an issue. Like, I feel like she could work a full-time job and like he could still have his job. And then like maybe it would be better to just ask him, can you babysit your siblings while I'm working? Rather than demanding his paycheck like that. And it was like into her account, like deposit all of my money into her account on the day that I received my pay. Like, that's
Yeah.
extreme.
Mm-hmm. I feel like if she would have asked, like, hey, do you think we can take some of your pay or I can have some of your pay, you know, to live and
Yeah.
support like your siblings, that would have been different rather than all of it. But again, like, I don't know their financial situation, but I feel like there might be, maybe a different way the mom could have approached it because it feels like she was just, emotionally abusing him. Like if he wanted to leave, like she would get really upset, screaming or crying. Like that's not okay.
Yeah. Yeah. He said that like when he asked like if he could keep some of the money, she flipped out. And then when the first time, not when he left, but when he suggested like moving out on his own, like she flipped out too and was like um getting upset and just started packing all his shit like right then and there. It was like, you fucking leave. Or I'm sorry, I'm putting words in her mouth. He was like, you should leave. And it's like, that's that's insane. Yeah, that is emotional abuse. Like, that's she's saying leave, packing all his shit up, right? But that's emotional. She's abusing him to the point where like she's manipulating him. Like,
Mhm.
she's blowing up so much in his face that he's gonna feel obligated to stay and continue to do this. And it's like, that's abuse. The mother is straight up abusing the oldest son, and like he doesn't deserve that. And so rightfully so, he moved out. And like, personally, I would have let her know
Mhm.
in advance. Like, that's just me. I do think that was kind of an asshole move. He's not obligated to, but myself, given my morals, even in that situation, right? I don't know because I haven't been in
Well,
that situation, right?
mhm.
But I'm assuming in that situation, I would still follow my conscience, and I'd still let, assuming, right, my mom, if it was just her, I'd be like, hey, I'm gonna move out. I'm telling you this now. And like, there's your week or two in advance. Like, I'm not changing my mind. And like, if anything too,
Yeah.
like I'd probably give that notice, but then I would actually just up and leave. Maybe I'd give her one last tiny sum of money, but not the whole paycheck.
Yeah. The thing about like 1 or 2 weeks, it's just making it sound like a job, you know?
Yeah.
Like he was working a job for a job, which was supporting his family. And I don't know. I feel like we don't know the extent of how much she, abused him or manipulated him.
Hmm.
But, for the siblings' sake, maybe, like leave some money there for them, like,
Yeah, that's
you
what I'm
know,
saying.
but then don't tell her that you're leaving. Just like leave it on the table or something
Hmm.
and then text her that you left.
Yeah, maybe that would have been a smart play. Yeah, because my biggest thing is like she's an adult. She could take care of her damn self. My whole thing with like leaving, a notice and still leaving a little small amount of money is like dead ass for the siblings' sake
Mm-hmm.
because they're small. And of course, we are missing key details um like income, right? Like is she working? And also like it could be like their way of life. Like are they financially struggling because they're not living frugally, right? And is the mom spending that money in a smart way? Is she saving? Is she investing? Like we just don't know.
Yeah.
Like
It
is
kind of
there
seems like she's not saving if she's
right?
that upset about it,
Is there an
which is
alternative?
on her.
Mm-hmm. Completely on the mom, honestly. It's just and that's not to shit on her, but like what does it say? It says she was 55. She's
She was
50.
50.
She's 50 years old. Like that means that when she had her 20-year-old son, she was 30, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
And so it's like again too, like no mention of the dad. So we don't know what's going on with that. That could have definitely played into the financial things in this familial relationship. There's a lot of missing factors, but with what we were given, he is not the asshole. But personally, I probably would have given a notice, a small notice, and probably one last lump sum of money. But like, I would have been like, I'm fucking out. Like, you catch me on the flip side when you ready to talk.
No, yeah, I definitely do think for the siblings' sake, maybe leave a little money because he does have that on his conscience, like that's what he's
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
So I don't know, but
Nah.
no, he's not the asshole. But
Mm-mm.
about the situation, we just don't know the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, that one was a juicy one. The other ones were juicy as well, but this one was definitely the juiciest.
It's funny the way you say juicy.
Does it sound weird?
Yeah, it's not weird. It's just like I don't know. It's like
Is
you
it
ever
like how you say yesterday?
no. No,
No.
it's not like you have an accent to it. It's kind of like the word moist or wet. It's just got
Stop.
like that effect to it. Like there's nothing inherently wrong with it, but sometimes like people say it a lot, and I think it's because you're saying it back to back. You're like juicy, juice. It's like that one was
I don't.
definitely
God.
juicy.
Oh my gosh. I hope I don't sound like that. Do I sound like that?
No,
Y'all let me know. Like, do I sound the way that you were making me sound?
no. Um, no, those were pretty solid stories. I feel like every episode I'm gonna try and find harder and harder ones because I like to kind of mix it up. I think when I originally read that one, I was like, this son is the asshole, right? That was on a first reading because I was like, man, that's a dick thing to do. Like they were financially depending on him. But then
Mm-hmm.
I was in the mindset of like, oh, he's the dad. But then I thought about him like, no, this dude's the older son. Like he's fucking 20. I'm 20 years old. We're the same age as this dude. And like
Yeah.
for a family, for four additional people, the mom and the three siblings to be financially dependent on this kid, like, yeah, nah, it didn't take long to come to that revelation. Like it was within a minute that I was like, I fucking took back the yeah, this kid's an asshole. And I'm like, no, wait, what the fuck am I saying? Like, I had it in my head that this dude was like, 40, like damn near the same age as the mom, but no.
No, yeah. When I read the title, I was like, you just left your family like that? And I
Yeah,
was also thinking like it was a parent or something. But no,
no,
no.
yeah,
No, he was a child.
for sure. No, I'm definitely gonna try and find more that I guess toe the line and maybe will make us think more.
Hmm.
The definitely do check out the subreddit, the r slash am I the asshole, because there's a ton of stories on there, and it's very hard to sift through them and like figure out which ones are good to make the cut, because I don't want to have like super long ones, but I also don't want really easy ones. So it's a give and take, but what is it? We're nearing, I think, a good stopping point on the episode. It was a short one, but it was a good one. For the sake of my throat, damn near closing up now. I think I'm down to close it out. How are you feeling?
No, yeah. I'm good. I'm good.
All right, you
But
want to?
I really like these.
Yeah, me
Yeah.
too. You want to close out the episode this time around?
Yeah. Hold on. I'm trying to remember everything you say.
Go for it. Go go.
Okay. Thank y'all so much for listening. Don't forget to rate us on whatever platform you're listening to us on. And check out our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Let me pull up what those are real quick.
At Live with Jam Pod, all lowercase, no spaces in between.
All right. See, you got it like that. I did not know. But thank y'all so much for listening. And YouTube, do not forget to comment, like, subscribe. um,
Yes,
we love y'all.
you're killing it. You're killing it.
Yeah, so thank y'all so much, and we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.